and welcome, guys. We're going to give it a few seconds to make sure that everybody gets in here. Welcome, welcome. And we appreciate you guys coming. As you see, I'm not Bella. But Bella is going to be here momentarily. So she is driving right now because she's in Australia, Melbourne, and so is Carrie Mann and Adam Lacey. So today we are going to be streaming from Bella Steakandbuttergal's channel, Carrie Mann at Homestead House channel, Adam at Carnivore Today's channel, mine at Carnivore Cure's channel, Lindys at Limitless Lindy's channel, Coach Raymond at Raymond Nazow, or Nazon, sorry. Yeah. I should know your name by now. I have a friend named Nazow. Wow. And Michael at Mixed Streams. So you can catch us all there. And we got about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15 minutes before Bella, the Steak and Butter Gal, and Carrie Mann at Homestead How and Adam at Carnivore Today will be on with us because they are just coming from the airport to Lindy's house, but you will see them with Lindy here shortly. So with that in mind, we would love for you to start posting your questions. Please put 3 capital Q's in front of your questions so that we don't miss them, and then we will star them and answer as many questions as we can get to today. And then also, as always, super chats will take precedent. However, today's going to be a little bit different. As much as I want to believe that you're super chatting because you want to hear me talk about it, I'm sure you want to hear Bella and Carrie Mann as well, and Adam talk about these things. So we're going to hold all the super chats for about 10 or 15 minutes until Carrie and Bella and Adam get here. So with that in mind, we'll get it kicked off. How is everybody doing? Lindy, how are you doing?
7 minutes away. I'm keeping track.
7 minutes. Awesome.
So just making sure a little more time. So 7 minutes, we will have our guests here. So yeah, quite nervous. I've got Bella and Carrie and Adam coming. Like, this is awesome. To my house. Yeah.
And I Create Crash wishes they were there to meet you too.
Who, sorry?
I Create Crash at the bottom if you look at the
Jen, how are you? Yeah. We'll look after him. I've got some nice food. So yeah. Todd helped me to cook. I am like a steak out of the freezer in the air fryer kind of girl. I don't do all this fancy stuff, but I've had to learn today because of my special guest. So yeah, I try to send him back nice and full.
They look delicious, Lindy. I saw a little teaser and they look fantastic. I don't think I could do better myself, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
they look great. Love that bone in. Looks great.
Yeah, cool. Do feel kind of swish.
For sure. You want to? So Carrie Mann and Bella and Adam are in Australia because they went to Adelaide. What was the conference called in Adelaide? Do you remember?
The Carnivore Collective Live. Yeah,
Carnivore Collective. Yeah. And so Michael, you want to show some pictures of the Carnivore Collective in Adelaide?
Yes, I will.
Look at those guys. Look at that star-studded. And
look how many people. Wow.
Yeah. What did Bella say? That a lot of those are SBG members.
There are a lot of SBG members there. Few celebrities there too. You can see there's Dave Mack in the front and Dr. Chafee, and I think Bart Kay's there as well. So
Bart Kay's there. Awesome.
Yeah. Lots of celebrities, but yeah, it was lovely to catch up with all the SBG members. So she was stoked about that.
Between wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Between Lindy and Chafee and Dave Mack and Bart Kay and everybody, you guys are taking over Australia with the carnivore community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see there's such a big turnout because there's not many, carnivores here in Melbourne that I know of. They're either all in hiding. So I'm hoping it sort of brings a few out of the woodwork and we can do some meetups and things down here would be awesome. But yeah, just to spread the word and hopefully the media are there, I'm hoping, and there'll be a big thing about it, but we'll see.
Gosh, we can hope. Yeah, that'd be great.
That's awesome. Man, it'll be great to see. What's your clock say, Lindy? How far were they out?
My phone went to sleep.
No worries.
9 minutes. What did I say before? 12. So
Wow.
So
So
we're doing good.
Scott's picking
Lindy,
it.
how big was that conference? Like how many seats were there?
I don't know. Sorry. No
Oh, okay.
idea. Mm.
Okay.
It looked pretty big for sure.
Cool.
That's
Who's that?
Dave Mack, Chafee, Bella, and I'm not sure who the other two are.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I think it might be. Is it Melissa? She's the one in the dark hair. I think she's the organizer, the event organizer.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That's awesome.
Oh, there's Carrie, man.
That's an awesome lineup for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I appreciate it. But yeah, definitely if you guys can get your questions in, we'll be answering questions here very, very shortly. And then I guess we can even take a look at them start now on some
doctor questions there.
Yeah, I think the first one we ought to take from Beach Bum.
All right. There you go.
Love the name.
All right.
Australia.
It's from Beach Bum. Been carnivore 3 months. LDL 206, total 262, HDL 48, tri 53, A1C from 5.9 to 5.4. Doctor wants me on statins. I told I want advanced test. She wants me to see a cardio for that. Thoughts?
Okay. I assume you want me to take this.
For sure.
Yes.
The doctor's in.
Not me.
So Beach Bum, first off, congratulations. These are very, very good tests. You have taken your hemoglobin A1C down from 5.9 to 5.4, showing that you're breaking the back of insulin resistance. I assume you probably had some metabolic profile going on or prediabetes from your numbers. And your HDL, I'd like to see a little higher. Over 50 would be great, assuming you're a male. And triglycerides of 53 is very, very good. Your LDL is a little elevated. That's pretty typical of a 3-month carnivore because you're using those LDLs to transport fats as fuel. And if you wanted to get an advanced test, there's 2 that you could consider getting. One would be looking at the LDL particle size and seeing if you're mainly the large fluffy LDL particles, which I expect you are, and not the atherogenic small hard LDL particles. And a second would be to get a baseline CAC or calcium coronary artery calcium score, which is uses a CT scan, and that would create a baseline for you. But what you want to emphasize with your doctor is you are reversing insulin resistance, which gives you anywhere from 5 to 6 times risk of cardiovascular disease, where this LDL with an HDL of only 48, you probably have a 1 to 2% risk of coronary artery disease based on your LDL. So it's very negligible based on, I don't know what your age is. If you're in your 40s, your risk is a little higher. If you're in your 60s, it's much lower. And you need to look at your risk from your hemoglobin A1C going from 5.9 to normal has reduced your risk from 600% risk or 6 times down to normal. So what you want to focus with your doctor is say, look, I've reduced my risk. That was 6 times, and you're focused over here on this LDL cholesterol. Let's just get one of these 2 screening tests, see what happens, and we'll recheck them in 6 months and go from there. So that's how I would approach the conversation with your doctor. Any other thoughts from any of you guys?
Well, I mean, I was going to say that exact thing, but then you said it. So
You covered all of it.
no, I think we'll take the doctor's word on that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I used to have a very high A1C also. I was at 6.0, and now I'm right about 5.6. So, and my LDL did jump earlier. I am 7 years into carnivore. So my LDL is a measly 140. I was kind of hoping for it to be higher. My HDL is at 51. So it's right above. But my trig is about the same as yours. So I feel like it's been in best shape. I have been threatened with statins, but I don't really listen to I mean, I accept what they say, but I just don't take it.
For sure. There we go.
Hi, team. Have any of you ever had Hell's Devil's Itch from sunburn? Any suggestion on what to eat, supplement to get rid of it? Hell's Devils.
I'm guessing that's just when you have the blisters and a bad sunburn and you're itching yourself raw. I'm guessing that's what it is.
Okay.
So my mom actually had a cure for that because being that I used to have terrible skin before carnivore, I would get lots of blistery sunburns because I would either be pasty white or boiled blistered red. Those were the only two things that I ever was when I was growing up. And I don't know why. I have no idea what it's an old maid's tale or something that they say remedy. But if you take water, 50% water, or actually it was a little bit more than that. I think it was like 75% water, like 3 parts water and 1 part white vinegar. And then you soak a rag in it and you put it on the sunburn. I don't know what it does to your pores, but it takes all that sting and itch out of it for some reason. Look at that crew behind you.
That. Bella's here.
Bella, Carrie, Adam, the whole gang.
Hey, how's it going?
There's Adam.
Hey, how you doing?
There he is. Oh.
Well,
Hey, you're ruining it for us, Todd.
I know.
You're doing it,
I'm
Todd.
trying. I know.
There we go. That's better. Adam.
So this is
Bella, there you are.
Hello. Can you hear
Glad
us?
you made it. Yes, we can. Can you hear us?
Perfect. Yes, we can hear.
Okay, cool. Max.
We're live right now. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Carrie, come.
Hello, everyone.
Carrie's here. Adam is here.
Carrie, Adam.
Lindy. We're at Lindy's home. This is incredible.
That's so cool.
What a beautiful home. Yeah.
Bella, how was it driving on the wrong side of the road?
So trippy.
I'll bet.
Very confusing. And they drive on the other, they sit on the other side too,
right
with the
side.
wheel.
Oh.
The right side.
Yes, the correct side.
The correct side.
Every time we turn, Adam turns the windshield wipers on, so
Yes.
we're figuring it out.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay. Should we?
Wherever you want.
All right.
You can
Lindy,
sit
you
down.
sit first.
No, you sit. Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I can bring another chair.
Yeah.
So I hope, Rem, I hope that answered your questions. But does anybody else have any remedies for itchy sunburns?
If we can do this.
I mean, I used to use the aloe, but that was back in the days. So that was all I slattered on myself.
I don't have that problem anymore now that I'm carnivore. I don't have the
Exactly.
itchy sunburns anymore.
Me neither.
I know. I live in Florida and I don't sunburn anymore. So it's kind of crazy.
I just go straight to tan. It's crazy.
That is awesome. Well, let's we'll finish that one up and then let's go ahead and see how was your guys' flight? Did you guys get settled in? Probably not, since how you just got through the door.
So Carrie and Adam came straight from the airport, and Max and we landed around 8 a.m. and we went straight to our hotel room, and then we got picked up by Scott, Lindy's husband.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wait, so that's how'd you handle the time zone and the jet lag? How are you feeling right now?
So I personally got 13 hours of sleep
Okay, nice.
from the flight LA to Sydney. I got 13 hours of sleep. Max didn't sleep much at all. He had 5 hours, so he's just been catching up, napping whenever he can. How about you two?
Same with me. I got a couple hours sleep, and what did you do?
0 hours of sleep. I'm just now caught up, so it's all good.
We're just about getting past the jet lag, and then it's going to be time to go back home and reverse it.
That's awesome.
So it's the AM over there right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me check what time it is. It is 12:45 p.m. here.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. Well,
And don't forget it's 6 months season away from them too. So
That's right. How you enjoying the
Carrie's
heat?
gone from Wisconsin to down under. So
Yeah. As soon as I left, my wife texted me a photo, and it just started snowing.
And what's it like over there right now? Is it?
It's
pretty
beautiful.
hot?
It's a little rainy today, but I'm short sleeves, feeling good. And yesterday, the last few days, it's been really, really warm.
Yeah.
You guys
Wow.
had a heat wave here, something.
Yeah,
A heat
yesterday.
wave. Okay.
Really hot. But today it's raining. It's nice. It's cooled down a bit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like 100 Fahrenheit, right?
how was Adelaide? How did all that go?
Yeah. How was Adelaide? Well, what did you think of the event?
I thought it was incredible. I loved it. I want to do another one.
Yeah.
It was really great energy. People were really excited to see, especially Bella
Oh wow.
and me and Carrie. Yeah, it was really awesome.
Yes. It was.
Do you
so
know how
awesome.
many people was there?
300, all sold out. All seats were sold out. Yeah.
Wow.
Completely filled up, and just the energy and the passion. Everybody there, they were so passionate about this carnivore lifestyle, right? And every single presentation, people were so intent to learn. They were so, taking notes, all of them.
Oh, so
And
cool.
every single presentation was fantastic. It was amazing.
Yeah, and it was a good variety too. You had some doctors, you had some individuals.
Yep.
One of my favorites was Dave Mack.
Oh,
Everyone loves Dave Mack, right? He's interviewed 850 carnivores now. So he shared his own personal story, and he got quite emotional. And then he shared stories, anecdotes from many other individuals. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And we got to film Dave for our documentary too. So we got to hear it twice. It was good. We filmed him first, and then he was at the conference. So it was kind of a nice dress rehearsal.
So you did like a little show of your documentary up there?
We did, yeah. We shared some clips, some behind the scenes, and then we shared like a 9-minute clip near the end.
Awesome. Wow.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Todd. What's the plan for this live stream? I want to make the most of it. Are we answering questions? Are we just hanging out?
Yeah.
And-
Well, we have some special announcements today.
Yes.
Sure. So I guess now's as good as time as any. So Michael, you got some pictures ready?
Yes, I do.
So I'm about to get in trouble here, but that's okay. Because our wonderful friend Lindy.
Yes.
Oh,
You can go ahead. You can go ahead, but
You're making Lindy nervous now.
Pay attention, Lindy.
Our wonderful friend Lindy has a skin surgery scheduled that she was planning on doing, and she confided in me, and this is why I'm going to get in trouble, is because that she was going to cancel it, and I didn't. I talked to Michael, and I talked to these great people here. We don't want to see her cancel it, and so we realized that this would be a great time to do something special for Lindy, and so we started a GoFundMe, and we all have started putting money in there, and we are launching that today. Michael, if you want to launch that, because Lindy's worked so hard for the last 3 years to get her story out there and kind of free herself from being in a prison. And we all know some of us for sure now know what that's like. And this is the last thing she's got to do to get free from that prison. And she's put in all the work, and she's helped everybody. And so we want to help her in return, and for being such an inspiration to the carnivore community and me and Michael, and keeping us on carnivore and keeping us straight every week in this carnivore journey. And so, Michael, you want to show the audience what we're talking about a little?
Yeah, give me one second. There's a lag. I posted the link in chat, but there appears to be a lag that's coming through because my comment hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, no worries. And the GoFundMe link is in the live stream from in the descriptions of all of the videos that you guys are watching from any of the YouTube accounts. It's all in the description, and we want to show how far Lindy has come.
Yes, please.
I thought you were going to show photos of my prime rib.
Your prime rib.
Wow.
Really beautiful place.
Oh,
Did
nice.
my links ever come through yet? I'm not
Nice.
seeing them.
Let me go look.
Oh, you know what? They are. Here they are.
Okay.
So there's the link, and it's in the chat.
It's also in the description of this live stream that you're on any of the channels.
So cool.
And then
That's awesome. It looks like there's already raised some funds there.
Yeah.
it is
Awesome.
we prime the pump, so to speak, to
I'm so embarrassed.
Why are you embarrassed?
So cool. No need. Oh my gosh.
Cheers. So this is quite a surprise. By the way, everyone who's in this live stream, we wanted to surprise and not tell Lindy about this until we got to her home. And Todd, thank you for organizing all of this and organizing the surprise as well. Lindy, how are you doing?
I don't know what to say. I'm honestly lost for words. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We love you.
So awesome.
I'm lost.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know, because Lindy's so selfless, I know she did not want me to do this. I asked her directly and she said no, but I'm not good at listening. So
Well,
we did it anyways. And
you guys, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
yeah, you know, because I can't think of anybody that deserves this more than this very thing. She never asked for anything back. Lindy put all my videos on Rumble just because I got, you know, she's always so completely selfless and just helping everybody. And we need, you know, I just want to help her back, you know, as much as we can, because she is so close to being free from a body that she was stuck in for so long. And I completely know what that's like. And it's going to be so awesome to watch her put this in the past and be completely through this.
As you can see where she started at, you know, and her journey over the past few years for her now, it's amazing where she's at today.
For anybody that doesn't know, she's down over 500 pounds. And that's why one of the reasons that Carrie and Adam are sitting there right now is to film her for the documentary, because she is truly incredible. Limitless Lindy.
Wow.
You can see her journey through all this time, where she was, and you know, it's amazing of her struggle that she's been through, and to be where she's at today is amazing.
Yes.
Okay? You know, look at just this last year, she was finally traveling again and making it to Austin for the Carnivore convention.
That was so much fun.
That's
To think that I was stuck on the couch, almost had given up on life, and saw the carnivore diet and thought, it's not going to work. It's only going to make me die a lot sooner with a heart attack, because, you know, it's hard to eat meat. Or it would change my life. I never thought it would change my life. And look, here I am with these beautiful people, a beautiful community in front of me, and I have my life back. And the best thing is my girls telling me they've got their mum back. I'm here for my girls again. And look, if I hadn't thanked Carnivore, I wouldn't have been here for them. So it's been amazing. Such a miracle. This whole Carnivore community. It's been wonderful.
You're amazing. You're an inspiration to us.
Thank you.
100%.
And the whole time before she took off to head to Austin, she was worried she wasn't going to be able to fit in the seat with the seatbelt. And look at that, huh?
Wow.
Nice.
I remember that.
Wow.
That's a long flight.
It is.
It's Todd,
Really?
you, me. Oh,
Yeah, that's during the bat thing, right?
oh my
Was
God.
that-
Can we talk about that? So we waited for how many hours? 2-3 hours for the bats to come out. They never came
It
out.
never came out.
Todd just sat in his car with the AC on.
He wouldn't go out.
Never
No
intending
way.
to come out
Right.
because he told us the story that he apparently saw on the news or something.
Joe Rogan. It was on Joe Rogan.
That bats came out and they pooped on some people's faces and they died.
Yeah. Yeah. They did. two photographers sat on the ground in some cave that like 3 million bats come out of, and they both got pooped on, and they both died 2 days later because they got a disease. And I'm like, I'm not standing under a bunch of bats. I'm just not doing it. I stayed in the car.
Oh, good time.
Oh, such good time.
He looks
Oh
so-
yeah.
That's
She looks
Lindy's
great,
daughter.
Lindy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh.
that's Lindy's daughter.
Shout out to Ella. She helped us get your address and everything for the GoFundMe. So she's
wow.
she's in on the coup. If you will.
I'll have words with her later.
Oh, Anthony and
So
Al.
awesome.
Yay.
That was in the steakhouse, Brazilian steakhouse.
That
Oh,
was
look at
at
that.
Carrie's meetup.
This one's Carrie's meetup. Yeah, the last one was ours. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Haha, Dr. Kill.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool. I didn't see this one.
That's at the flower shop. My daughter's flower.
Oh, your flower
Yeah.
shop. Okay,
She's
great.
back. She's got her whole life back now. She's out doing things again. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you get to pet the koala tomorrow.
Yay. Will it be kangaroos?
And kangaroo.
Yeah. My girls keep texting me over and over again. Did you see a kangaroo yet? Did you see a kangaroo yet? They're not like wandering around everywhere.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a Japanese maple farm, I think. Yeah, Japanese blossom.
Oh, yeah.
Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
In a normal cinema seat I couldn't fit before, so now I can.
oh.
And then there you can see her whole journey right there.
Wow.
take a look.
Legendary.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Amazing.
So we truly appreciate you guys, and we just we know we've been contacted by a lot of people too, wanting to help out with this, and so we just wanted to put it out there. Obviously, no pressure, and but anything that you guys can do to help Lindy, say thanks. I sure appreciate it. We all are rooting for her, and we also look forward to her getting through this last part. It's going to be incredible. So.
Todd, I'd like to say a few words. So, Lindy, I always say Lindy is an angel, and every time I talk about her, I get moved to tears. And yesterday, when I did my presentation at the Adelaide event, Carnivore Collective, I shared Lindy's photos and before and afters on the big screen. I even read a personal message from Lindy that she wrote for me. And then I asked a question to all 300 people in the event. Who here knows Lindy's story? So many raised hands went up, okay? The whole entire crowd, they love you, they appreciate you. And so this is the least that we can do. The link, we'll put it in the description box as well. Let's support Lindy and make this skin removal surgery happen for her.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever we can do as a community to help Lindy. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
We love you.
Yesterday.
Oh,
Oh, he has a photo.
Yep.
Yay.
I don't know if you can see this on the screen or not.
Show.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
there it
that's
is.
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Wow. That is a big screen. My goodness. Wow. Cool.
Great crowd.
Yeah, everybody loved that part of the
Incredible.
presentation.
oh wow.
Incredible. Well, I so appreciate it, and yeah, I just can't wait. I cannot wait to see Lindy after February. What? Because when is the surgery? When was it scheduled for?
6th of February.
6th of February. That's coming up quick.
Oh, that's right around the corner. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Todd, if you don't mind just dropping the link again in live chat.
Yep.
Because I'm sure some new live viewers just came in. So we
I
can-
did. I got it then.
Oh,
Thank you.
no, I think we both did it. So,
Lindy,
double
You
dip.
guys get spammed.
Lindy, would you mind sharing if what were the requirements for skin surgery? Did they say, or was there any?
I just to lose a lot of weight. Yeah. But
Definitely
yeah,
fine.
I needed to wait a little bit longer to lose a little bit more. And he said, no, because I have so much loose skin that it's impacting me. I can't exercise. Or like I've got this big stomach in front. That's why I feel very uncomfortable. And it makes it very difficult to do any movement. So he said, you need to get rid of that now so you can actually go and exercise, like jumping, the trampolines, doing all that. I can injure myself because there's so much skin there. So it really impacts my day-to-day life. So I've lost all this weight, but now I've got a whole new set of problems. And surgery is the only thing that's going to fix that. Autophagy, there's not enough.
Oh, no. That wouldn't do that much.
So this will just make me be able to go out and do a lot more exercise and be a lot more mobile than I am now. So it's just going to be
so happy. I'm so happy you're going through with this. What was the reason initially that you were not going to go through with it?
financial.
Oh, well, perfect. Well, we got you here. So good. Thank you so much. Yes, the carnivore community will pull through for that. So awesome.
Thank you so much. That means so much. Wow.
Speechless.
This is great. Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's stop your quality of life. Awesome.
Sorry for dropping it on you, but you were too stubborn headed, so we had to.
I know that. Yeah.
If I make it to Montana, I'll know where you live. So
For sure. I'm in trouble now. Well, this is awesome. I want to thank everybody, Carrie and Adam and Bella and Phil and Michael and Raymond for helping me put this together, and Ella and Scott for helping me put this together. And we all know what Lindy means to us, and this is going to be incredible this year. See this thing through. It's going to be awesome. So we appreciate it. And thanks to the whole carnivore community. If appreciate anything you can do, or just share the link or help her get her story out there, that all means just as much. So we appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what we can do to really help the spread is just save the link that's in the live chat, copy and paste it, save it, share it on your socials, maybe attach one of Lindy's interview videos that she's done. And she's done many where she shares her whole story and her whole carnivore healing journey. And I think that would be great if we can all collectively do it as a community so that we can help Lindy in this goal. Okay?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cannot wait.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Well, we got some super chats if you guys want to get some super chats going.
Before we do that, I'm happy to do this live stream with you guys. I just want to be considerate of Carrie and Adam's time. So if you guys have to, set up for filming, I'm not sure what your schedule is. If you don't have a lot of time with Lindy, you don't have to stay in the live stream at all. I just want to make sure.
Mm.
I could do filming until like 4 o'clock. So
Yeah, we got some time.
Yeah. How's the hunger settling in for you guys? Anybody?
What?
How's the hunger dealing for you guys? Because it's like 12 o'clock. So, but of course, time zone is kind of different for you.
Yeah. Are you guys hungry?
I had a carnivore bar, so
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm not hungry because last night I ate so much meat. They had like this VIP dinner after the event. It was just unlimited meat that they smoked and served in like big plates. So I ate plenty to carry me over to now. So let's answer questions. We have Carrie, Adam, and Lindy here. So whatever questions you want to ask us about carnivore troubleshooting, feel free to put a capital Q in front of your question and then submit your questions and we'll go through them. And Todd will.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely. And we have we'll start right here. That'd be perfect. Best way to up your calcium on carnivore from Beach Bum. What is the best way to up your calcium on carnivore?
Cheese, raw cheese. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. How about you?
I would say the same.
Well, I don't specifically try to add calcium in, but I've heard that there's quite a bit of calcium in beef bone broth. So I would probably try that.
Yeah, I don't sort of think about it. I just eat the meat. I don't eat the dairy because it inflames me, so I stay away from that. But I don't think I have any problems. Good. I'm trusting the process.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Thank you much, Beach Bum, for the super chat. Go on to the next one. We got Nav. How often should I eat on carnivore?
Every meal.
Literally as much.
Love it.
What were you saying, Raymond?
Oh, no. I like what Michael said. Every meal.
Every meal.
I love that.
Every meal. Yeah. Maybe we can share how many meals we eat in a day right now. I typically eat 2 meals a day right now.
I'm doing 2 as well.
Nice.
2 meals for me.
1 or 2.
1 or 2.
I always tell people, though, it depends on where you are in the journey, because people tell me, like, tell me exactly what you're eating and when you're eating. And when I was a lot heavier than I am now, I ate less and I was fine. Probably burning off the body fat. And then when I lost the weight, I had to eat more. So It really depends on where you're at in your journey.
Nice. Oh, birds on their shoulders. Max and Scott.
That's
Adam,
awesome.
what else do you eat?
2 meals a day.
2 meals a
Yep.
day.
Usually
Yeah.
have 9 eggs in the morning and then 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of beef in the evening.
Nice. Smooth.
I have lunch and dinner. I don't eat in the morning. Sometimes I don't have dinner. I might just have a colada and then drink or something for dinner. Yeah.
And everyone in this live stream, share in the live chat or in the comments down below, how many meals do you eat in a typical day on a carnivore diet?
Nice. That's awesome. We'll move on to the next one. Icon. Hi, Bella. It was great meeting you yesterday. I've passed your channel on to friends, a young woman of 24. I hope she can learn from everyone.
So awesome.
Gosh. It was so nice meeting you, Icon. I cannot see what you look like because you have a photo of a fox as your profile. And I do remember an Icon. Maybe that's a different name. But this is like what I tried to focus in the presentation yesterday was to hopefully inspire young women in their 20s, teenagers, early 30s, because I really believe all women should be able to live their life without cramps during their periods. I believe all women should have a regular cycle, okay, without having to suffer with PMS symptoms. I want every single woman to be fertile, not have to worry about not being able to have babies. And I shared Richelle's story yesterday. I shared Lulu's story yesterday. So thank you so much for spreading my channel. I really appreciate you. Love you.
Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, let's move on up to here to questions. Struggling to start as husband is not interested. Any tips? Dorian Hickman.
Just do it. I started and I was by myself. Obviously, it's a lot easier if your spouse is on board with you, but I wouldn't let that be an excuse to not ever do it. I'm so glad that I did it. And then they started, my wife and my girls started to see my example, and eventually they came on board with me. It doesn't have to be that difficult either if your spouse is still eating some sides and things like that. You can make the big meat dish and still have the sides, and they can have the sides and you just skip them. So it doesn't have to be that complicated, but I wouldn't use that as an excuse to prolong and not do it. I would just do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, is your wife or is your partner carnivore?
She is not, but
Okay.
I was telling Carrie yesterday, she actually texted me and said, hey, why don't we do a rib roast for Thanksgiving instead of a turkey? And I'm like,
Awesome.
yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so she's warming up to it.
Yes. Yep.
And Lindy, how about Scott?
Not 100%. I call him my dirty carnivore, but I have to remind myself that this is my journey and I'm doing carnivore for a reason, and he'll get on board. I just lead by example, and normally at home he tends to eat carnivore. It's when he's at work that he might go off track, but he's very good in that way. He's very supportive at home.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just lead by example, and remember you're doing this for a reason. It's your journey, and hopefully, you plant the seed and he'll join you.
I did want to say that when I first met Max, he thought carnivore diet was insane. Like he thought I was killing myself. Just basically what the public, the general population thinks about a carnivore diet and people who eat only meat. And I think what really changed Max's mind was when he met fellow carnivores at meetups that I would go to and bring him, when I go to carnivore events or conventions. When he met Dr. Baker, I would say that's when he really felt convinced, is to see Dr. Baker, his strength, how he works out, just his sheer muscle on his body. I think being able to hang out with carnivores in person, talk to them, learn from them is one of the most convincing things to get warmed up to this lifestyle, especially if you want your partner, husband, or wife to be a little bit more curious. So I would love to hear from Todd, Raymond, Michael, and Dr. Phil on this. Dr. Phil, how about your wife? Is she carnivore right now?
She is not. She has cut down to about 20 grams of carb a day, and it's helped her a lot. She has totally changed her eating. Doesn't eat any processed foods, so we've gotten that all out of the house. And it's, you move your spouse as far as they're willing to move on the time scale they're willing to move.
Yeah.
Nice.
How
I
about you,
think-
Raymond?
Yeah, my spouse is not carnivore. She did try it for 2 months and had phenomenal results. And unfortunately, she realized that with these phenomenal results that she has to stay carnivore. And that scared her off of it, because she's like, there's no way I'm going to live like this. I miss my sugar and sweets too much. So she went back.
Yeah. Todd and Michael, did you want to chime in on this?
Sure. I think what Bella was saying about the analogy of Max not being carnivore till he saw Dr. Baker is, you just got to get Jack Doreen and then make him. But no, the results for me I'm not married anymore, but for my mom, my brother, my sister, and a lot of people in my life, when they saw the results, they saw me living again. They saw me, not on the brink of death and on, oxygen. They're all fine, because everybody's hurting. They were like, what are you doing? So, and that turned them, so I think just be the result and be the, the example. And I think he'll come around for sure when it's his time,
Yeah.
Love it.
And as for me, I know if I didn't find carnivore, I wouldn't be here today. So
Yeah.
carnivore saved my life. So.
Heck yeah. That's enough said.
for sure. That's awesome.
Same here.
Here we go. Estif is, I don't know what that word is. What is that?
Sjogren syndrome.
Sjogren. Oh,
Sjogren. Okay. I got you. Gonna get cured by doing carnivore recently. I got diagnosed and docs just said to take that's one for Phil.
Hydroxychloroquine. medicine.
Can I not take that question?
Yeah.
This is for
Yeah.
Dr.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, Sjogren's is part of an autoimmune spectrum that people get. And all autoimmune diseases are due to basically inflammation in your body, attacking something in your body, and then you get a generalized inflammatory reaction against your own body. In this case, it's about your swallowing, your tears, dry mouth, dry eyes. These are the kind of things you get. And we have seen in the carnivore community incredible healing of autoimmune diseases. What we don't know is, what is it going to take for you? How long and how strict do you have to be? And hydroxychloroquine is a anti-malarial medicine, which is a great bridge to get you some symptomatic relief, because it might take you 6 months, a year, 2 years. Who knows how long to heal. And the good thing is hydroxychloroquine is not going to prevent you from healing, but will give you some symptomatic benefits while you're bridging to get your inflammation out of your body and see if you can reverse this autoimmune disease in your case. So I would be encouraged, and you'll have to make the decision on your own with your doctor whether or not to take the hydroxychloroquine, but remember, you're taking it as a bridge to get symptomatic relief and try to prevent some long-term damage while your body is given a chance to heal.
Thank you,
That's
Dr.
awesome.
Phil.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next one. All right. Randall, what are the best foods to eat if I'm insulin resistant and histamine intolerant? I'm currently on day 8 of a fast.
Wow. I mean, I say beef. Beef is great. If you're insulin resistant but histamine intolerant, try to make sure that the beef is not aged. You can get non-aged beef at Billy Joe Meats, or just get it fresh from your local ranchers at the farmers market. Any tips?
Yeah, histamine
Uh,
issues,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I had histamine issues for a while. So what you can do if you can't afford the meats that's not aged, because they are quite expensive, cook the meat from frozen. Make sure that you eat everything. Don't put leftovers in the fridge, because that's going to increase the histamine content. If you're eating eggs, take the whites out, just eat the yolks. That can help as well, and you may be sensitive to the yolks. So maybe just kick the eggs. Lamb, typically lower in histamine because it's a smaller animal. So you go that route.
Great tips. And Adek, talk about how long it took your initial histamine intolerance to heal and reverse.
About 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
I have a question for Adam. Adam, did you ever eat veal to see how you responded to that being a smaller version of the beef?
I tried veal and lamb, and I just don't like the taste of it. So I was mainly cooking beef from I think about me. Now, some people have a really severe histamine intolerance, and they have to go much further than what I did. So I don't know if that's the case for Randall or not. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Hope that helps, Randall. Those are great tips
All right.
from
And we got our friend Sandra McDonald. I got a call back to doctor. I got called back to doctor after care plan bloods. Cholesterol absolutely top of range. Triglycerides elevated. Kidney numbers twice as high. Uric acid up. A1C within normal ranges. Help.
I think this is for Dr. Phil, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So none of this is ideal. Your triglycerides being elevated, I assume your kidney function is abnormal in that your BUN and creatinine are high. But a lot of times those numbers are high because you're fasting for the kidney test. And I'd be interested to know if those were really high or you were just a little dehydrated when you got it done. But your uric acid up is an indication of inflammation in your body. So you've got some healing to do. I would stick with it. Give yourself an opportunity to do more healing, get inflammation out of your body, eat lots of fatty meats, and probably add daily walking to get some movement. Really, congratulations for your A1C being in normal range, and see what you can do with those.
Perfect.
That's awesome. I'd chime in, but I don't think Sandra wants to take advice from me on this. So, let's see. Bella.
I think we have a super chat.
Oh,
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we go. I asked about, let's see, this is Nav again. Thanks, Nav, so much for the super chat. I asked about how often to eat because I'm told by carnivores to eat when hungry for healing, but I can do 2 MADs or OMADs even if I haven't healed from health issues. Also tips to go from 3 meals to OMAD or 2 MAD.
Tips to go from 3. Okay, so let me just try to process this. So Nav has asked about how often to eat. He's told by carnivores to eat when hungry, yeah, for healing. But can I do 2 MAD or OMAD? So Nav, maybe you can follow up. Do you have healing right now, or you're pretty much good to go and you want to try out 2 MAD or OMAD? And he says, even if I haven't healed from health issues, tips to go from 3 meals to OMAD or 2 MAD. Let's just start with that last question. What are some tips that we can give Nav to go from 3 meals a day to 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day? Yeah. Raymond, why don't you start?
Yeah. So on that strategy from 3 meals. So what we want to do is we want to go 3 meals. I like the idea of making sure that you're just comfortably full, or even at that point of comfortably stuffed. And you're doing it for a week. And what you're wanting to notice, actually, I prefer 2 weeks, but what you want to notice is the point where you just don't want to do it anymore. It's difficult. You forget to eat. That's when your signal to go to 2 MADs is. Then what you would do is go to 2 MADs for 7 days. I usually have a sequence of that. And then you'll notice that even the 2 MADs, well, sometimes you could easily skip the second one. You're enjoying the hunger at that point. And that's where you know that you're properly nourished. Then that finally you can go into that OMAD range. I don't like staying in OMAD because that's kind of like a limbo. So kind of like a OMAD, 2 MAD range, maybe OMADs in the weekdays, 2 MADs on the weekends, or however you want to shuffle it, but just enough to give the body a little bit of hormetic changes to give it a little bit of change so it can help you later on down the road, get it more efficient.
Carrie, how do you go? Because initially you must have eaten more meals than 2 meals a day, right?
Right.
Okay, so how did you naturally go into 2 MAD?
Gradually. Yeah, gradually. I know gut bacteria, gut biome, your body gets into routine. So doing it gradually, I think, is a great tip.
Yeah. How about you?
OMAD to 2 MAD?
Yeah.
It was really just a matter of once I lost most of my body fat, my hunger signals were telling me I need to eat more. So I literally had to eat more. I eat probably twice as much as I did when I was losing weight.
Nice.
Lindy? I'm a little bit different because I've got lactate restriction, so I can't sit and eat a whole big steak. I have to eat like a bird throughout the day. So probably not a good person to ask for that.
Yeah. Well, I'll chime in for specifically females, though, just since we're on the topic. When I did 1 meal a day, OMAD, for an extended amount of time, it started getting very easy to undereat, because when I would get busy and I would just be so used to OMADs every single day and just so comfortable with that, and I would get too occupied with like my busy schedule, then when I eat and I don't really focus on eating enough and really eating a lot of fat, it can typically, you can just be in the danger zone of not eating enough, therefore affecting your hormones. So for females especially, make sure that you are eating a lot of fat, and make sure you keep tabs on, like, are you actually eating enough in general if you're doing OMADs for long periods of time. And Nav says not healed yet. So Raymond, do you still recommend for Nav, he's not healed yet, to still aim towards moving into 2 MAD and OMAD?
Yeah, so that depends on your body, right? If you can and you're enjoying 3 MAD, stay there. If your body's saying, look, I would rather have that rest period, then go to that. So 2 MADs, you got to realize 2 MADs is kind of like where we start talking about fasting, intermittent fasting. And there is healing to go there if the body's ready, if the body's nourished. Flirting with OMADs is a great idea also, because it gives your body, your stomach specifically, a rest, but only if you're nourished. So the question is whether, are you nourished? Are you ready to go to that next step? Then take that next step, but don't stay there. Just like Bella said, if you go OMADs too long, you're going to tend to undereat. A lot of this is a balance between eating enough and also fasting enough.
I haven't healed from health issues. This is Nav again. He says, I haven't healed from health issues. So I was wondering if I should eat when hungry or if I can do OMAD or 2 MAD.
Yeah, I want to tackle that one too real quick, because hunger is tricky. Okay, so it depends on how long you've been carnivore and how well you know the hunger signal. In 3 MADs, this will teach you that. We're talking about you're eating when you're not even hungry. You're eating because the clock says to, until you just feel like you can't anymore. On the 2 MADs, though, you want to learn what hunger signals feels like. And in other words, it's nice to feel hungry. It's nice to look forward to that next meal. That's what you want to look for. So, but it's never at the point where it's like, I'm ravenous, I got to drop everything to eat. that's not a good sign. That's showing a lack of nourishment and you're not quite ready to go to that next step. So you're playing back and forth to just get it right and get to a point where you're comfortably doing a nourished, say, OMAD or 2MAD, or even, dare I say, skipping a day should you need it.
So I have a follow-up question since we're on the topic. Would you say that you can get just as much healing from autophagy, from extended fasts, as something like priming, where you are intentionally eating a lot of meat and fatty meat, right? Like when you weigh which one has deeper healing, what would you say, Raymond?
Yeah, it's a total balance. It's kind of like saying like, hey, I'm filling my car up with full of gas, right? And let's say you're totally topped off with the gas, but you're stopping at every gas station to top it off again. It's not going to keep on being able to use that fuel and helping the body any by doing that. So we need to give it a little bit of mileage, let it drain a little bit, and then fuel it back up. So it is a balance, and that balance needs to be felt by everyone. It's specific to you, meaning that if you have this ravenous hunger and you're coming into carnivore, please feed it. You're not supposed to be that hungry. Ideally, any of us, we think of carnivore as nourishment. I like what I eat when I eat it, but it's really just nourishment. It's not something like, I'm like, oh my God, I just really have to eat. And I know that feeling, that hypoglycemic feeling, cold sweats, just weakness, mind fogginess, all of that. If you even get close to that, then you are not nourished. But there's something about having that much meat that gets you to the point where you're just effortlessly going the long distance. And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I can, I would chime in and say this, that was kind of interesting because when I was doing it, when I started, it's almost like you need the dietary fat and the dietary nutrients to get your body used to being a fat burner, but then once I went through the priming and got a little bit healed, then I needed the really long fasting because I had lymphedema problems, and I needed the autophagy to heal up my lymphatic system and really help. Specifically the dry fasting really seemed to speed up healing the lymphatic tissue and making me more fat adapt when my body was looking for that metabolic fluid for electrolytes and for fluid when I was doing the dry fasting. So to me, it was a balance because I couldn't do the fasting until I was nourished and until I was healed enough to do it, until my body became fat adapt enough to be able to run off stored fat. But once that was the case, now I kind of go back and forth between, I did 12 7-day fasts this year, and then I had to reprime, and I'm in the middle of doing repriming. So I don't know. I wonder if those things are ever going to stay static or it's just going to continue to be the act of balancing it,
I like to do it that way, but really, and I want to talk about the dry fast that you're doing, Todd. You notice that after you wet fast enough, and first of all, you got to get properly nourished, then you wet fast, and you notice with the wet fast that you're just not drinking as much. And then that's where the dry fasting starts. You want to flirt with that, but not until later on. So those are getting masterful pieces. Listening to your body is key on this. So anybody starting on carnivore, I would prefer it if you started with straight out 3 meals, because you can't even trust your sensory of what hunger is or what fullness is, because it's so different. So first you have to learn that part from what carnivore fullness is. And then when it's like to the point where you don't want it anymore and you feel like you have the full nourishment, then that's where fasting comes in.
Perfect. All right. I think hope that helped, Nav.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope it wasn't too much.
Thanks for the super chats. All right, Balin. My mom has been carnivore 5 months now, 67 years old, 5 foot, 140 pounds. She's been losing a ton of hair since starting. She's eating high fat, 80-20, so days 75, 25%, 1,600 calories roughly. Please help.
Okay, so she's losing hair 5 months in. First question we're going to ask, I'm sure we're all thinking this at the same time, is she eating enough? Just because she's eating 80-20 or 75-25, oh, she just put the calories. 1,600 calories is not a lot. It's not a lot of food,
No.
right? Like
Yeah,
you would
that's
say
really-
that's
that's
kind of
low.
under eating. Yeah. So typically with hair loss, from my experience, hair loss happens a couple weeks after putting a lot of stress on your body. You can search up the term telogen effluvium. We can also have Dr. Phil talk about telogen effluvium. But when you put your body through a lot of stress, under eating is included by stressing your body out. Okay, that's a lot of stress on your body when you're just not eating enough for a long period of time. A couple weeks after that stress, for a lot of women, hair starts falling out and big gobs of hair. Lots of hair starts falling out. So that's my first thought is maybe she can consider upping the amount of meals that she's eating, just the amount of food that she's eating. 1,600 calories, even if she's 5 foot. Is she active? Right, 140 pounds. I don't know if 1,600 calories is enough. Dr. Phil, do you have any thoughts?
I agree with you. The first thing that comes to mind is we're probably undernourished at this point, which is a common problem we see. And I would go with that as the first thing I would do. But hair loss is not going to replace right away. So you're going to have to be patient with yourself because it might take 3 to 4 months of nourishing to start reverse that. But when your hair starts growing, you know that you've been properly nourished and you can start backing back again if you need to. But I would agree with Bella. This is an under eating situation.
Oh, I see Coach Lisa's tip here. She says toxic hair products can also contribute to hair loss. So maybe that's something to look into as well. It's always worth looking at the products that you're using every day. And especially if you have other products in your routine, maybe cutting down, maybe just checking the ingredients in your shampoo, conditioner, hairspray, all of those things, and making a switch to clean ingredient list items could be worth it as well. But I think the root cause, like working on the root cause, which is most likely just not eating enough, is going to do the most like healing for your mom. Lindy, any thoughts on hair loss?
Yeah, I was restricting fat for the first year, and I found once I increased the fat, my hair loss stopped. So, and under eating as well. So, priming and increasing my fat.
Yeah.
So,
Priming and increase your fat.
There we go. Here we go. From AS, is Bella eating salt now that she is lifting weights?
Great question.
Thank you for the question. So the salt that I'm eating is from my cheese, the raw cheese that I'm incorporating whenever I can. And since coming to Australia, I haven't been eating cheese daily, and that's fine because I have just been eating a lot more fatty meat. Like, for example, yesterday I had 2 meals a day because they served lunch and then they served dinner at the event, and they served chicken. Do you know what kind of chicken they served in the lunch box?
Don't.
I'm not sure.
It's pretty moist, like
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
fatty
Very
chicken.
fatty, yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing like chicken wing or chicken breast with the skin on. It was delicious. And they served like ribeye bites, I think, smoked ribeye bites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it spiced or was it salted, Bella?
No, they actually made no salt for me.
Nice,
Wow.
nice, nice, nice.
Thoughtful. So I just ate a ton of that. But when I am eating raw cheese, then obviously there is salt in that. So I am eating salt from the cheese. But no, I am not adding any extra salt to my meals.
There we go. That's awesome. All right. We got Rose. Rose says, met Bella, Carrie, Adam, Dave, and Bart yesterday. They are all amazing, beautiful people.
Awesome.
There.
Awesome. Nice to meet you, Rose. Thank you
Yes.
for coming. Yay.
That's awesome. All right. Oh, I think we did this one. She must have put that one twice. Okay.
I was gonna say so many awesome people we got to meet yesterday. You were saying this during your presentation, just
Yes.
how nice and kind everyone in Australia is. It's noticeable.
It is.
Honey,
very-
dear, love. It's
Sweetie.
really awesome. Sweet, yeah. it's
We're
really
all
cool.
being called these wonderful names everywhere we go by strangers. Like the moment I landed in Australia in the airport, the first thing that I was called was a sweetie. Okay. Girl in front of me, she was getting her luggage through the security, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, darling. You know, did I just bump into you?" I was like, "Wow!" So I'm being called darling and sweetie by strangers. It's just a very sweet, you know, crowd of people here. I love it.
That's awesome. This one's from Cowboy. Says, "What do you guys think of sugar-free barbecue sauce with allulose in it?"
Okay, sugar-free, but the allulose is like a
Just sugar,
sweetener. Let me just ask Carrie and Adam first. Do you guys use any sauces or anything with sweeteners in it?
I don't use any. Even the artificial sweeteners. I had such a sugar addiction for so long, the cravings will start coming back. And I found, talking to a lot of carnivores that start carnivore and they try to do artificial sweeteners, they end up having sugar cravings for a long time, and I think it makes it a lot harder for them. So it's not something that I do.
Yeah, I agree. No sauce on anything. I don't feel like I need them, and I don't know that I have a sugar addiction as strongly as what Carrie might have, but it's still, I just don't feel like I need it. I feel great eating steak. So
that's awesome. How about you, Lindy?
Yeah, I have a sugar addiction too, so I stay away.
Yeah, so it looks like all four of us are abstainers rather than moderators. Like, I feel the same. If I were to have sauce with even a hint of sweetness in it, it would probably open up my appetite to just want to binge on sugar. Like, altogether, I'll just fall into the sugar hole, and who knows how long that's going to last. So typically carnivores, or at least when you get settled into this lifestyle, it's best to experiment with just cutting out all foods, all sauces, even drinks with sweeteners, and just see how you feel. Some people can actually moderate. Like, I've met those unicorns, okay? Like, they can moderate. They can even have some treat meals over the weekend and go all like standard American diet and jump right back. But from what I've seen, the people who need carnivore for healing, we cannot do that. Like, we have to abstain. Dr. Phil, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it all comes down to the individual. You're either someone that triggers with artificial sweeteners, which is probably 80% of the community, or you're a moderator. But I would say by far, if I was to flip a coin, I'd have to flip a lot of coins before I'd find a moderator over an abstainer.
Right. And a question for everyone. We've got 600 people here in the live stream. We would love to know, would you consider yourself, when it comes to food, would you consider yourself a moderator or an abstainer? Awesome.
Sure. Hey, Michael, can you see if MM's question?
I am looking for it and I can't find it. So if they can post it again for me, please, I'd really appreciate it, and I'll make sure it goes up to the top.
Thank you so much, Michael. I looked everywhere too, and I did not see this question. So, all right, but we will keep an eye out for M&M. Thank you for the super chat. Please repost it. And then Nav, thoughts on cheat meals?
Oh, right when we were on the topic of cheat meals. Okay, that's a perfect question because the holidays are coming. So let's talk about this. Let's start with Lindy. Are you planning to cheat or treat yourself with the holidays?
No. Staying strict carnivore. I've got too much to lose by spiraling and going back into, especially now with surgery that might be on the cards again. So I just can't afford to do that. I don't want to go back. So
do you ever miss like your usual sweet treats, desserts when you are like at the table and it's right there?
I used to, but now I actually find enjoyment watching I enjoy watching people eat and enjoying themselves, but I know that I can't have that because it's going to make my life terrible. So to see other people enjoying it, it may not be good for them, but they don't sort of see that side of things. Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag there. But yeah, no, I don't want it. Yeah, I can have chocolate biscuits in front and I just won't touch them because I know it's deadly for me. So
it's awesome. Yeah. How about you, Adam?
Cheat meals are a no-go for me. I've done it once or twice, and I always feel absolutely horrible after I do it. It's probably one of the worst decisions that I can do while eating carnivore. And cheat meal for me now is a more expensive cut of meat, maybe a Wagyu steak or a large rib roast or something like that. That's my cheat. So I don't cheat anymore.
Yeah, no go for me either on the cheat meals. I did ketogenic diet for years and years, and I incorporated cheat meals, and so many times, and my weight went up and down and up and down, and the cheat meal would always turn into cheat weekend, into a cheat month, into let's go to the new year kind of thing. I never once had a cheat meal and then the next day said, gee, I'm glad I did that. I deserve it and I feel a lot better now. And I don't think anyone that's ever done a cheat meal has said that the next day. It's usually so. I've also recently started to learn more about our gut bacteria and gut biome, and introducing a cheat meal can be really bad for that sort of thing and flourish some of the bad gut bacteria that could maybe take potentially longer than you realize, or it may not be just, one cheat meal one day. It could be affecting you for much longer than that as well.
Right. And look, Nav, if you feel tempted to have that meal, at least eat some fatty meat before the cheat meal, because typically, right,
Nice.
I know a lot of carnivores, they don't like the thought of never being able to eat something that they love, and it gives them anxiety, or it makes them feel very like FOMO, feeling of missing out. So what you can do is, you don't have to tell yourself you can never have that pumpkin pie or that dessert that you love. At least have a proper fatty meat meal before you go and treat yourself. And honestly, it's probably going to make the negative effects the next morning less.
Much less.
Right, Raymond? Yeah, so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, let's stop calling it cheat meal. When we cheat in sports, we're trying to get ahead, right? Let's call it what it is, a sabotage. That's what we're doing. We're just sabotaging ourselves. So, and it's okay. Say, hey, what are your thoughts on sabotage meals? That's fine. If you choose to go through a sabotage for a certain period of time, let's learn from it. So let's see that experience through and thoughtfully doing it. Use Bella's strategies, like she said. Eat your big meals first and have that a little less later on. But feel what happens. How did that affect me? What's going on in my mind during that time? Is this triggering me also? So, but let's start with changing the wording. Stop calling it cheats. Let's call it sabotage. Really what it is.
I very much agree with that, because
I agree too.
that is, basically when I think of anything with a sweet palate now, I think it's the same thing as meth to me. I just think of it as a highly addictive drug that's really dangerous and it's killing people. And so when Bella asked Lindy if she was going to treat herself for Thanksgiving, I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to treat myself to a smoked ribeye. I'm going to treat myself to a tomahawk. I'm going to treat. Yep, that's how I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to treat myself by feeling good. But as far as all those sweet palates, I think that those are an absolute weapon from big food and big pharma that has weaponized them against us. And I don't negotiate with terrorists anymore. So I do not buy into their bullcrap. I don't feed their war on me. I credit them for killing my brother and my dad, and I hate what they're doing. So yeah, I look at that stuff as it's literally fun in the war that's making us all sick, and I do not purchase any of it. I do not play with it at all, and I do not consider it a fun cheat anymore, or a treat or whatever. It's completely as far away from that as I can put it.
And after you get to a certain point, it doesn't even taste good no more. It's too sweet.
Right.
Yeah. That's a real thing.
Good
The
point.
longer you're carnivore, the longer your taste buds reset or get used to just eating animal foods. When you actually do eat the sugary food or the junk food, people keep saying it didn't even taste as good as I thought or as I remembered.
Tastes like chemicals or something.
Yeah.
Even the smell's not as good. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, I see we got Eminem's question.
Nice.
There's our super chat, and there's the question. Thanks. I've been eating 1 kilogram of beef minced OMAD with cheese and eggs as condiments. Recently bought a jar of pickles. Love them. How much is it wrecking my diet to have 6 to 8 pickles slices a day? None.
Yeah,
I'd second that too. My wife Jen's been carnivore now for 200 days. She has pickles with she's burger patties and pickles, and she's refusing to get rid of the pickles, and it's working just fine. She's having really good progress. So
Oh, nice.
I'd love to hear that.
So wait, I actually have a follow-up question on that, because when your wife eats the pickles versus when she doesn't eat the pickles, does she notice any changes in how she feels, digestion?
No, you know what it is? I think it's all a psychological thing. She still has a little bit of a meat aversion. And
That makes sense.
pickles help her with the meat aversion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because my wife, we've got triplets plus one.
Yeah.
And when she was pregnant with the triplets, she had crazy cravings for pickles.
Wow.
So I'm like, a lot of hormonal changes when you're doing carnivore. So I don't know if it's part of that too, but it's mostly just kind of the texture and
Wow.
the meat aversion.
You know who else also had very strong pickle cravings during her pregnancy? Kelly Hogan.
Really?
Yes, yes, she talks about it all the time. Kelly Hogan, when she was pregnant with her, I don't know which kid she was pregnant with. She has multiple kids. She said that she had a bit of a meat aversion, and all she could tolerate or all she craved for was pickles. So I'm honestly
I
like,
wonder if it's a sodium in it.
yeah, maybe the sodium.
That
Some-
that kid that kid didn't come out with 3 eyes or anything, right? So it's
all her kids are.
fine.
Yeah. Do you eat pickles? I don't.
I don't, but to answer MM's question,
Yeah.
how much is it wrecking my diet to have 6 to 8 pickle slices a day? Stop eating them and see.
That's the best way to go about it, for sure. Yeah,
If that's the only thing keeping you carnivore, keep it.
True,
that's true. Hopefully that helps, Eminem.
There we go. Appreciate it, Eminem. All right. Let's see. I see one. I was going to answer this one real quick. She's a long-time listener. Hey, Todd, if 100 people show up to your 4th of July party, is that going to be okay?
Wow.
Absolutely.
100
Absolutely.
people. 100 people.
That's not enough.
No, we're going to need way more. No, we built a 500-gallon smoker just for this such occasion, and we actually most years will get a couple 300 anyways. So
I think B Dog wants to invite 100 of his people there.
There you go.
bring them on over, B Dog. We're
Wait.
happy to feed them.
About this, Todd, because every time Carrie, myself, Adam, like we go to these in-person carnivore events and we share about it. I'm sure you guys get these comments and DMs. Is every time I post about it, people all over who are carnivores say, well, come to our city or come to our country. Like, well, we feel left out because you didn't come here. So we should just be talking about doing more in-person meetups and actually talking about it in advance, like well in advance, so the carnivore can plan for it. So would you actually be interested in hosting a Montana meetup?
For sure. I took Dr. Phil's advice and I started talking to an event coordinator because I was going to try to do it 4th of July of 2025, but the event coordinator said not near enough time to schedule something of that size. But 2026, I'm definitely. So we're still going to have something small that I don't want to talk about too much because I don't want too many people to show up unprepared. So we're still definitely going to do 2025, but it's going to be a little bit more private. But 2026 for sure. I'm planning already of a real one for sure. Like as big as we can make it.
So for everyone in this live stream and watching the playback, put your requests on where you would love a big meetup to be. Where are you all at, and where would you be willing to travel to for a big carnivore event or meetup? Also, Carrie and Adam do lots of meetups regularly. Do you want to talk about your next one?
Yeah. When is our next one?
The next one is in London.
London.
Wow.
And when is it again?
It is December 14th.
Right.
Yep.
So we have one in London, and then we have another one in Arizona, in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that one will be
January around the 6th or 7th. Somewhere there.
Yeah. Well, you guys can keep up with the exact dates, where their meetups are at by subscribing to their channels. Where else would you recommend people follow you guys?
healinghumanity.movie.
Yep. Healinghumanity.movie website and our YouTube channel, Healing Humanity Movie.
At Healing Humanity Movie. It'll all be linked down below in the description box as well. Yay.
Awesome.
That's awesome. All right. Let's go back up here. There we go. Wandering Free question. Glucose rising on carnivore been strict for 6 months.
glucose rising on carnivore. I mean, we hear this a lot, right? And what's always brought up is the dawn phenomenon. And so I wonder when she is measuring her glucose. And Dr. Phil, do you have any thoughts?
Well, first off, sometimes when people say this, they're having some very mild elevation. So, for instance, their fasting sugars have been 80 and they go up to 96, and that freaks them out. And it's really kind of a normal thing because you have this rising cortisol in the morning, and it's not unusual to get a little more gluconeogenesis during the night, especially if you're doing prolonged fasting and all. So it really depends on what you mean by rising. 5-10 points, no big deal. If it's 50 points, that's a big deal. And so if Wandering Free can give us a little more detail before we leave, that would be very helpful.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, if we'll keep an eye out for that. Okay. Cuckoo Kachoo. Question: Carnivore 4 years, A1C 5.4, glucose 118, and very bloated.
What's the question?
I'm guessing very bloated. That's the question.
Why they're bloated? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I don't know if the A1C or the glucose numbers has anything to do with the very bloated part, right? 4 years of carnivore, I really wonder, what are you eating that might be causing inflammation or indigestion / bloating? The most popular foods that do cause those things is dairy, I would say. Like dairy causes a lot of indigestion and bloating for a lot of carnivores who just can't tolerate lactose.
Well, and I did notice that so I don't eat salt anymore, and it's not because it's something that I chose to do. It's just my body didn't want it anymore. And like, I have no problem with the salting food at all. I love the taste of salt, but body didn't want it anymore. So I haven't salted food in months. But one thing I did notice is that I would carry more fluid, and I felt like I had a little bit of bloating in my stomach at the end, not during the whole time, but at the end when my body started not wanting the salt anymore, I started to have bloating. And so I don't know if that could be part of it too. Maybe you're over salting your food and your body had enough,
Maybe.
I don't know.
Any ideas, Carrie?
I was thinking similar to you, cheese maybe.
Cheese
Seems to be a big culprit for many.
Yeah. Try that out. Cut out the cheese, cut out whatever dairy, maybe play around with the salt. Don't cut out the salt completely cold turkey. That's not safe. But play around with upping or actually lowering the salt like Todd was talking about. Keep us posted.
All right. Let's see. Blinkfire question: You feel about full fast Monday, Wednesday? Oh, full fast on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday. Greek olives, okay. Question: feta cheese, okay. Can only find pasteurized sheep goat cheese, I guess.
So the first question is, how do we feel about a full fast Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday? So what is that type of schedule? Like what type of fast is that? 48s?
It's kind of like an alternate day. Yeah, about 36 to 48. It could be 48. It depends.
Okay. I mean, if you can do it without under eating, that's great. That's typically what we advise here is don't fast if you're going to just under eat when you do the fasts. So that's why we typically like to nourish with 2-3 weeks of just priming, which is just eating as much as you can. 3 meals a day is best. And then when you are fully nourished, then you can go ahead and do whatever fasts you're comfortable with. And Greek olives, are they okay? Todd, do you eat Greek olives?
No, maybe it'd be okay because I think they're kind of pickled. I don't personally have a problem with anything pickled or anything fermented. So I've probably ate my body weight 6 times over in pickled jalapenos since I've been doing carnivore because I do like those. But it was my N=1 experiment, which they don't do anything to me. And my body does crave a little bit of vinegar. But as far as the olives go, I don't know. I mean, I really just think as far as this question goes, you got to get your diet clean enough so that you can make those N equals 1 tests, doing one thing at a time, adding them back in, and to see if it actually hurts you or not.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. And two, on the fasting, if I hadn't done priming, I wouldn't have known what it's like to have like a high functioning metabolism. It wasn't until I actually fed myself for 6.5 months on Raymond's program and was eating 7 pounds of beef a day at the end there, that I got a high functioning metabolism. And now that's what determines whether I can fast or not. If it starts to hurt my metabolism, it starts to tank, then I know I over fasted and I got to pull the plug. But I mean, it's incredible if you do the priming, you get nourished, what your body can do. I mean, I did 12 7-day fasts this year before I started to lower my metabolism again. And so I would say you have to experience what it's like to have a high, to heal your metabolism and feel it raise and watch your appetite open up so that you can start eating like that and have a high metabolism. Once you know that baseline, then you can decide whether you should be fasting or if it's too much fasting, way more accurately, in my opinion.
So Todd, I have a follow-up for you. What are some telltale signs that, one, your metabolism is being revved up, and two, your metabolism is being downgraded and it's being negatively impacted?
First thing every time is brain fog. Like all of a sudden I can't focus, I can't concentrate. I'm having a hard time, multitasking at work or whatever. I'm screwing simple things up I shouldn't be screwing up, these type of things. I'm getting a little bit confused. I can't grab words or string together sentences or whatever. And that's the first sign that I know that it's starting to go downhill. But sometimes you can ride that out, and so I'll still give it like, 6 to 8 hours. But if that's followed up with getting cold for no reason, that just won't leave you, and you start getting chilled to the bone, then I know it's my metabolism crashing. And so that to me are the two telltale signs. And then that'll usually go into some kind of weird headache, lightheadedness. You're going to get lightheaded anyways. So public service announcement: when you're fasting, don't do deadlifts. I ended up waking up on the floor on my forehead in the gym when I was doing one of my 7-day fasts, because if you stand up really quick on a fast, you're going to get lightheaded. But that's not really one of the first signs I look for. But definitely the brain fog and definitely the chills are the two telltale for me when it's gone sideways.
Nice.
Yeah, and would love to know, Carrie and Adam, what's the longest fast you've ever done on Carnivore?
I did 8 days.
Wow. Okay. How did that go?
It went incredible. I was doing pull-ups every day, maxing out. And by day 8, I was able to do more pull-ups than I ever have my entire life. I did more on day 8 than I did on 7 than I did on day 6, which I can't even wrap my brain around how that's even possible. I felt incredible by day 8. I wanted to just keep going. I felt euphoric, full of energy. My brain was firing like better than it ever has before. But eventually you got to eat again. So
What did you the fast with?
Bone broth.
Nice.
Real slow bone broth, and then I think I had some eggs, and then I tried to wait a little while, but I had a big steak shortly after.
How about you?
I don't fast, so 24 hours is the most I've ever gone, and that was when I was losing weight. I could do 1 meal a day, and I tried to fast longer than 24 hours when Jeff did his 8-day fast. I was going to do it with you guys, but I couldn't do it. I got to like hour 25, and my stomach was literally like eating itself and turning it inside. And I'm like, I have to eat. There's no possible way I can do this.
Yeah. I mean, some carnivores just don't need to fast, or they can't really fast. Lindy, do you fast?
Not usually. I did do a 5-day fast in January, and I did struggle towards the end because I can't climb enough to be able to do the 5-day.
Right.
But I did feel amazing.
One thing I think about with fasting, I want to do it more often. I'm learning more about it myself, but I always go on whatever is ancestrally appropriate or whatever humans have done since the start of time. And I feel like it'd be more random, which I think is kind of what they were saying there, or maybe doing a full fast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've thought about doing that in the future, like maybe randomizing it a little bit. Like humans would have found a big animal and they would have feasted and then they would have fasted for a while, but it wouldn't have been like so regimented.
Right. Kind of like sporadic, whenever is convenient, or whenever they maybe won't be able to get meat for long periods of time, like how the hunters do, right? And Raymond, you talk about this all the time, the feasting and fasting philosophy. You always tie it back to our ancestors and how they would do it. So typically, how do you approach longer fasts? Do you time it intentionally?
Yeah, on the longer fast, the most I like to do is like a 5-day fast for myself, and I do that probably like a yearly. But on the longer fast, I like to time an appropriate priming time before I go into the longer fast. I actually don't like any white knuckle fasting. I like it to be very simple, like I don't even realize I'm fasting. That's kind of my way. And I notice it is on how you eat that creates the fasting part next. So, and I know from watching Todd, I mean, he does it so easily. So, you know, I've seen other people that I've told, hey, prime properly, you'll fast properly. You know, so it's not just me. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, that first 25 hours is so difficult. And then they're like, oh, that 48 hours is kind of challenging too. But I go through those like nothing. So that's the one actually I like when I do alternate day fasting. I'm constantly flirting with those ones, the hardest ones that people consider. And to me, those are just no big deal.
Nice. Yeah, very, very eye-opening about fasting. I love fasting talk because, you know, I've done rolling 48s because I loved it under the guidance of Raymond. But as time goes on, or as the longer that I'm carnivore, I'm starting to realize fasts are not very compatible with my body right now, especially if I'm going to lift weights and try to be more active. Maybe it's just where I am at with my metabolism and hormones right now. But if I do a fast any longer than one meal a day, I can already feel I'm under eating. I'm getting the negative symptoms that Todd was talking about. So that's why I almost have to work hard and eat 2 meals a day, even if I don't want to sometimes, with the activity that I'm having now. So a question for everyone in this live stream: what is your favorite length of fast? Any length. Share in the live chat.
Real quick, guys. I'm gonna have to drop out if that's okay.
Oh,
So,
this is a good time for anyone who needs to drop out. And also, Carrie, Adam, you don't feel like you have to be here the whole time. Like these usually run for what, Todd? We don't have to do it that.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 hours. But today I think we're trying to make it 2, being that you're in.
Before we head over here, I want to check on the GoFundMe to see how that's doing.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Absolutely, Michael, can you pull it up for us?
I sure will.
You are the man.
Yeah, let's see if that helped out a lot.
It's coming right up, guys.
I gotta go see your bird.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Over 3,000 so far. That's
I don't know
awesome.
what Australian dollar is, but that's great.
Awesome.
So what was it at? Like almost like two? Was it even at 2,000? It wasn't even that.
No, it wasn't. So this is awesome. And
This is great.
yeah, no, this is an awesome start. We're about 10% there. And I completely, man, this is just awesome. See you guys helping Lindy out. This is going to be incredible.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, Lindy, say a few words. Sorry to pick you on this.
Just say a few words.
A few words.
Thank you so much for your support. Means so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm making Lindy shy, but I'm going to speak for Lindy here.
Okay.
So Lindy's family is incredible. Lindy's daughters, they're so loving. They're so sweet. There's like this whole family is so humble, and they never ever try to be a burden on anybody's life. But this is an opportunity that will really change Lindy's life and her future. And she's already lost 500 pounds, guys. This is incredible. Every time she shares these stories, people's jaws drop. People feel like, wow, if Lindy can do it, then I can. She's giving hope to so many people. So as a community, this is something that we can give back to all that she's done for us. Any words, Carrie?
I think you're awesome. I remember the first time was the 10-hour live stream you came on.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I was like, you should be called Legendary Lindy.
Legendary.
Yeah, I have anyone that's watching from my channel, the link to the GoFundMe is in the description. Please go support Lindy. I did it myself. I think you're incredible. You're inspiring so many people. I don't think anybody deserves it more than you do.
That's right.
Yeah.
You.
You deserve it.
Yeah,
It's a
thank you.
beautiful soul. She would do anything for anyone.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you haven't yet, consider, even $5. I mean, it would really bless this amazing woman. So,
And if money's tight, like Bella said, share it with everyone. Post it on social media.
Yes. Just copy and paste the link in the description box of the live chat and share it. You don't necessarily have to contribute financially, but just by spreading the word and attaching one of Lindy's videos or interviews, I feel like will go a long way. So thank you guys.
Awesome.
We're gonna go.
Yeah.
Adam and I are going to work.
All right. Very
Yeah.
good.
There you go.
Thank you
Word.
so much, guys.
That's my chance to hop out.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Hold
See you,
on to
Raymond.
fort. See you.
Take care, Raymond.
Take care. Thanks, Mike.
Yay. And Dr. Phil, bye, Raymond. Are you still okay for staying with us? Just want to check.
I'll stay with you another 15 minutes.
Thank you. All right. So Gunther, I'll read these questions. Thank you so much. Hi all. Me, 100% grass-fed lion, 2-to-1 fat to protein ratio in grams, 6 months, 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day. Big energy crashes after meals, especially the first meal. I will use a CGM starting tomorrow. What are good and bad CGM numbers? If you don't mind, Dr. Phil, tackling this.
Well, I mean, this is CGM is continuous glucose monitoring. And first off, I wonder why you got to see CGM, because I know they're great if you're diabetic, and some people like to know what their numbers are, but I do hope that you're not getting overly fixated on your numbers. So normal blood sugars are around 80 to about 130 after a meal. It should not go more than 150 after a meal. But often as a carnivore, I have done some spot glucoses before that have been down in the 50s and asymptomatic. So what you're really looking for is trying to get more consistent blood sugar readings throughout the day and not big fluctuations, big increases after meals in the half an hour to 2 hours after the meal. So if you're doing that and you're getting 50 points or more going up, you're probably getting hidden carbs, or you're getting more more protein than fat, and having some gluconeogenesis. So I would, first off, I don't encourage CGMs for the non-diabetic person. And for carnivores, they're very helpful for ketovores and ketogenic people because they're going to be eating more carbs. But as a carnivore, you should see normalization of your blood sugars pretty quick. So I don't want people to go out and buy CGMs just because Gunther SB did.
Michael and Todd, do you guys use a CGM?
No,
I do not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did for 1 month and then it broke. And the only thing that it ever told me was that my blood sugar was dangerously low all the time. It would just beep. I was like, I'm throwing this piece of crap in the garbage. I feel fine. And so that's all it ever said, was that I had low blood sugar. That was it. I was like, well, I feel fantastic. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you feel on a carnivore diet, or how you feel on whatever diet you're experimenting with, should always trump numbers in general.
Yeah, I mean, Phil would probably be able to answer this, but I mean, isn't it pretty normal for carnivores' blood sugar to make the alarm on those things go off like all the time?
Well, as I said, I mean, most alarms will trigger if you fall below 70, and it's not unusual for a fat-adapted carnivore to have blood sugars in the 50s and 60s and be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I think it does get people fixated too much on numbers, and I think it's great if you have diabetes, if you're on diabetic meds. It may help to get you off the meds. If you're type 1 diabetic, of course, CGMs are fantastic. But for the average person, I think it gets you fixated on the wrong thing. But I always do have a strong opinion on these things.
We can't tell at all. Yeah, I don't think they're necessary.
Yeah.
All right.
Hector. Oh, do you know Hector?
No, I just got ahead of you.
Oh, I didn't even read it yet. Does anyone else's burp smell like rotting flesh now? Huh.
No, the
Interesting.
short answer is no.
No.
After
No.
I'm gonna offer up some advice and say get a water pick and some floss. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't think that's right.
It's not normal. All I could think of is iZombie, where she ate the brains in the morgue, you know. But honestly, dental care is very, very important if you're getting the sense of rotting flesh, and if you haven't had your teeth cleaned recently. But now let's go down to the stomach and the gallbladder and talk about that, because some people get acid reflux, which should be more of a burning, but there are people that get bile reflux, and that could very well be what this person's having. That causes, it's more of an alkaline rather than an acid reflux. It's more of an alkaline. It's very foul smelling, does smell a little like death. And it's because of several reasons. One, you could have a degree of gastroparesis, which is slowing or paralysis of the stomach, especially if you've been on a GLP-1 inhibitor, such as the drugs will not be mentioned on YouTube. But or if you're a diabetic, sometimes you have nerve damage done from the diabetes that can cause gastroparesis, and certain medications could be. So if you think it might be bile reflux, the best solution for that is divide your meals into multiple meals a day, eat 5 meals a day, try to get your gallbladder to heal up, and get a regular flow and production of bile going. And usually within 3 months, you can adapt to going back to normal eating. But those would be my thoughts.
Yeah. I saw a live chat saying maybe it's because there's meat in the teeth, you know,
Yeah.
just stuck in the teeth, and that could collect the smell.
That's number one, dental hygiene.
Yeah. Dental hygiene.
All right.
Mike and Neri, hello. Is there any intervention, counseling, or other help for those like me who are addicted to frozen blueberries and heavy cream? Okay. Does this need an intervention?
I think the steak and butter gang is your best intervention. I really do. I think for all of those sugar and addictive things, I think the priming protocol is the best I've seen for breaking addictions. And that's just my personal experience with it.
Thank you, Todd. Yeah. Any thoughts, Michael, with addiction to blueberries and heavy cream?
No, I never had that problem, so I really don't have nothing to say.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Never had that problem. That's great. Yeah, I'll talk about the communities. Thank you for bringing that up, Todd. So in the Steak and Butter Gang, we have meetings. These meetings are honestly so effective because you get to talk to other people, you get to hear other people also talk about struggles that you can relate with. And we also have meetings every single week now, just helping with sugar addiction, carb addiction recovery, those who have those cravings for sugar and carbs, which is very common and one of the most difficult hurdles to overcome. So if you do need an intervention or counseling, then feel free to come into those sugar calls that we have every week, helping you get over your sugar addiction and sugar cravings. And the link is right there. Thank you, Todd, for putting it on the screen. We open the doors anytime, any day throughout the year. You can just come in, hop on the meetings whenever you need help, and enjoy the community.
Absolutely. There we go.
Yeah, I think we should add, though, it really doesn't matter what the addiction is. I mean, blueberries and heavy cream is pretty specific, but you can have addictions towards anything that's sweet and need help with that. So it could be sodas, could be anything.
Yeah.
You're just not able to give up.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I've had caffeine addiction, nicotine addiction, sugar addiction, eating
Yeah.
disorder in general and gambling addiction all melt away on priming. And that's no joke. And I didn't see most of that coming. I did not, definitely not the nicotine and gambling. I didn't know that could have anything to do with what you're eating, but it does. That's what's really crazy. So I agree that the addiction doesn't matter. It just getting your hormones, your brain chemistry, and proper nutrition is right. And I think our body knows how to get rid of addictions on its own when it's healthy.
You know, that reminds me of a quote that I always like to bring up from Dr. Wiedemann, Lisa Wiedemann, also known as the carnivore doctor. She says this all the time. The opposite of addiction is, Todd?
I don't know
You
it. No, I don't. I've never heard it. That's
Okay,
funny.
the opposite of addiction is community. She
Oh.
always says. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
For sure. Well, there we go. I guess that's why I'm addicted to the SBG community, because all the time I used to spend doing bad things, I'm in there now trying to tell people not to do bad things.
Hey, if it works, it works.
For sure. Oh, that's awesome though. Makes a lot of sense. But no, seriously, I mean, that's what I tell everybody now, and I don't get paid to say this or be here. It's just that is the number one thing that keeps me going carnivore. Is just, I was thinking in the NSV today, we just did an NSV, which is a non-scale victory meeting, which is one of Bella's weekly meetings. And I do love those the best because, when you're seeing actual change in people and they're getting freed from stuff, I don't care how many of these follow the science studies and epidemiology studies that people quote. I've never gotten hope out of one of those studies, right? In fact, I'm pre-programmed now to believe that they're mostly bullcrap, right off the rip, that they're not going to work. And I know that there's a lot that are, but the reality of it is I don't know which ones to believe and which ones not to believe, but I do know real people really getting free from stuff that's been keeping them sick and depressed and hurting and addicted to things, and watching them in these meetings completely change in front of you. And that's what gives me encouragement and hope every day that I see it, So that's why the community is so important, because it's not settled science and it's not all these great epidemiology studies. And we have Dr. Phil that can tell us which ones of those to believe on a daily basis, keeping us all straight on the right path. But the reality of it is, I don't get hope from any of those, but I do get hope from Lindy losing 500 pounds, from Michael getting his life together and going to get out of his house for the first time in over 20 years, from Tim and SBG getting to walk again and getting out of a wheelchair and walking again, and going back to work.
And Tim's wife said, "Thank you for bringing my husband back to me." And every time I think about that statement, I want to cry, because this is really what's happening to so many families just by going carnivore. Lindy, her daughter, saying, "Thank you for bringing back my mom," just because of carnivore. This is powerful stuff, So yeah, thank you for that, Todd.
It's huge.
We had an NSV tonight that just amazed me as a physician. And, we physicians, we like studies, we like double-blinded, we like large numbers, but then you hear something that is totally unexpected, that's obviously anecdotal, but life-changing. And it's a new member who has a mechanical mitral valve and suffered from hemolytic anemia. And the mechanism is basically you have this St. Jude's valve, which is metal and banging every heartbeat, and your red blood cells become so fragile that they literally crush. They're crushed by the mechanical valve. And she had become anemic to the point of having low energy, needing transfusions. And on carnivore, her hemolytic anemia has totally gone away. And she now has normal oxygen carrying capacity. Her heart is no longer working harder than it should be, and she feels so much better. And you wouldn't know unless you're a doctor that red blood cells are produced in the bone marrow. They lose their nucleus, and then they go out in your circulation, where they live about 90 days in normal people. And we know in carnivores, they tend to last longer than 90 days because they're more robust. And what she was telling and sharing tonight is her red blood cells leave her bone marrow so robust and healthy that they are surviving the worst possible trauma a red blood cell could ever have in its life. And she's thriving on this carnivore diet. And that impact to that one individual of not living her life with a chronic anemia and have to risk blood transfusions and deal with low energy and low oxygen getting to her heart all the time and the heart having to work. I mean, that is incredible. And we won't be able to study that. We won't have a double-blinded study. We won't have, 1,000 people treated with carnivore versus not carnivore. But you hear a story like this and you realize how life-changing carnivore can be for one person who has a very unique situation they're trying to heal.
How young was she?
I don't know. Probably
Okay.
50s, but maybe 40s.
Wow. That's miraculous.
Incredible. But she's got little Iron Man red blood cells now. They're just Hulk cells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Sweet.
it just tells you how much your cellular immunity is improving when you get rid of the inflammation in your body. And if it's cellular healing for your red blood cells, which don't have a nucleus anymore, what is it doing to your white blood cells, which guard you against infection? What's it doing for your muscle cells? What's it doing for your brain cells? I mean, where do we take that? And we're not going to get this stuff studied, but it's these N=1 things that can change your whole perspective and give you hope that, wow,
Yes.
that's totally unexpected, but what a cool non-scale victory to share.
Awesome.
Thank
For
you for
sure.
sharing that.
Yeah,
That's
and so you guys kind of gotta experience it yourself. But I mean, if you're out there and you're trying to stay on carnivore, but your family's telling you this is crazy, it's a fad diet, and people at work are telling you it's crazy, it really does help to have some place to go where you can see the actual results with your own eyes, and you can see all these people that have nothing to gain from showing this. They're just genuinely had their life changed, like generally realized that they have another shot at doing this and came back from something they didn't think they were going to come back from. And
Yes.
then all of a sudden it's not anecdotal to you anymore, and it gives you a lot of faith, and it gives you a lot more resolve to go live in the world out here where we all live and we have to eat and function. And Phil would call it the why. It helps you with your why for sure.
Deep
Well,
why.
carnivore is not a magic bullet for everybody. I mean, people still get sick, people still have heart attacks, people still have strokes, but if you're healthier, you're going to be less at risk, less likely. But we're still going to have car accidents. We're still going to have, tragedies in our life and health issues to deal with. But why not do something that's going to give you a better chance at life for whatever that quality means for you? And I would say as you improve the quality, you're going to improve the quantity as well.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, you know who I met yesterday from the gang? Rhonda.
Oh,
Rhonda
wow.
Bibby.
Yep, I know.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. Rhonda is always at the meetings looking so beautiful, always
She
smiling,
looks like a
always-
model.
She looks gorgeous in person. Okay. And she attended, and she told me she drove all the way over to Adelaide just to see me. And I was so honored. I was like, Rhonda, please stay, come hang out at dinner. And somehow we miscommunicated. We weren't able to hang out that much. But Rhonda came to the Adelaide event. And because she came, she actually bumped into someone who lived 5 minutes away from her, and she sat next to her in the audience. So I bring this up because you just never know who you get to meet in life just by joining carnivore communities. It doesn't have to be the gang. It doesn't have to be SBG. There are so many wonderful communities. Kelly Hogan's, Dr. Barry's, Dr. Chafee's. These communities are great because you stay interconnected with everybody, you know, and then you go to these in-person events and you meet friends, partners. You never know. So, oh, what's this? Jody says, I just joined SBG this month. Welcome, Jody. I tried carnivore for 1 month on my own and it was great, but the gang is epic for all the info I did not know. I will be back for December as well. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So happy you love it. And welcome to the family, Jody.
Absolutely. That's awesome. All right. Phil, where are you at on time? Do you want another question?
I'll do a couple more.
Okay. You're a trooper. That's that carnivore energy.
We will wrap up when Dr. Phil calls it a night, okay? Because I hang out with Lindy and Carrie.
But no pressure, Phil. No pressure at all.
All right. So Cobra says, carnivore for 16 months. At my 10-month on carnivore, I am having lots of hair loss. Okay, so we did talk about hair loss. Doctor said all blood work looks great. Why and what test should I get? Something is definitely wrong. I think we would all say, again, just eat a little bit more, because hair loss, one of the biggest causes of hair loss is under eating. Even on carnivore, like Dr. Phil said, is not a magic bullet for everything. It doesn't just fix all overnight or within months. So you could just be under eating. I wouldn't even jump to getting tests done just yet. But let's say Cobra really wants to do tests just to investigate her hair loss. What would you suggest, Dr. Phil?
The only thing I would check is your thyroid function. And I doubt if there's going to be a problem there, but it's just an easy test to do. And if that's normal, I would drop it there and just eat more and see what happens in the next 90 days.
Perfect.
Perfect. One more.
Lori from Boulder, Colorado. I'm 70-year-old female, carnivore 69 days. Congrats. Down 17 pounds in the first 45 days. Amazing. Healthy, no meds, RN working full-time still. Love you all. Love you too. Thoughts on liverwurst? Okay, I've actually never tried it. I hear about it all the time, but I've never tried it. Have you? Michael, you're
I eat
nodding.
it. I love it. Yeah, I eat it.
Awesome. Yeah. Does it taste like organ meat? Does it taste gamey?
No,
A little.
not to me.
But I hate liver, but I do like liver's worse. But I've never looked at it. I just assumed that there's got to be something bad and all that pasty stuff in there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've never looked close enough, but I used to love it when I wasn't carnivore. But that's interesting. I bet there's a healthy way to make it though. I'd imagine.
Is
Yeah,
the
I thought
liverwurst like a pate that's then sliced?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also call it Braunschweigert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've never had it.
Yeah.
My mom loved it. Liverwurst and onion and mayo sandwiches with a slice of tomato was I ate that all the time when I was a kid. So
Nice.
my mom, and I did end up weighing 600 pounds by the time I was 14. So maybe it's not good. Who knows?
Well, you were
was a
also
soda.
drinking energy
a
drinks and
soda.
soda
Yeah,
for
and all
7.
the pop.
So,
Yeah.
For sure. It's the soda. Don't listen to me.
yeah. But Lori, I would just check the ingredients. Like
Right.
liverwurst, there's different brands. And so
Yes.
I would assume specific brands will have different ingredients lists, just like with cheese. Kraft cheese is junk, whereas maybe raw farm cheese is amazing. So just check the ingredients list.
All right. We got time for one more, or how we doing, Phil?
Sure. Let's do one more.
All right.
Thank you. All right, Stevie, 35, female with migraines since teens. I'm carnivore, intermittent fasting, and take magnesium and riboflavin. Is that how you pronounce it? Riboflavin?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daily, no changes. Any suggestions? Should I do Lion Diet? So she needs troubleshooting for her migraines. I don't get migraines from carnivore. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've never had a migraine from carnivore. The only time I've ever had a migraine is when I took TRT once. So I just don't have any experience in this.
Yeah, I don't really have any advice for Stevie. What I don't know is, are these so have they changed on carnivore? Are they some common migraines? Are they or are they complex
Yes.
migraines? Being common migraine is one that kind of starts with, usually you have some kind of an aura, you know, the when they're coming on, they may be unilateral. And then they go generalized. And what's worked well in the past for you, you know, there's usually some degree of inflammation going on with carnivores. I would think with migraines, that I would think the carnivore diet would decrease the frequency over time, but you've had them since teenage, so you've had them 20 years. You know, it might take you quite some time. Lion diet would be a good idea, but 6 to 9 months of lion would be my recommendation if you're really committed, to see what would happen.
Yeah, that's quite a long.
It's not going to turn overnight.
Definitely not. Yeah. Does she say how long she's been carnivore? No, she doesn't say. Yeah.
No, but she's had migraines for 20 years, so
Right.
that's a long time. A lot of healing to do.
So the migraine expert in the carnivore community that is always brought up, her name is, if I can remember, is it Alicia Stanton? Something
Don't know.
Stanton. Yeah. Tim says my migraines went away after priming. Fascinating.
Wow.
So maybe she's under eating. Maybe she could benefit from just eating more carnivore foods. So try that out. I saw a live chat, could be dehydration. Maybe try hydrating a little bit better. Cranky Carnivore says, I still get optical migraines, but without pain 90% of the time after a year on carnivore. So it
nice, John.
Yeah, it's great.
I used to get migraines. I used to get what are called ophthalmic migraines when I was in practice. And it was just mainly from sleep deprivation. And I've not had any migraines or headaches since I've been a carnivore. But there are so many factors that can lead to migraines.
Yeah. Keep us posted on how your migraines progress. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
All right. I guess we will wrap up now.
It's time.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just can you put the link up one more time, Michael, for the GoFundMe?
I sure will.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And so we just want to shout that out one more time. We appreciate you guys helping us. And
is it still streaming to Carrie's channel, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm skipping the show.
No worries. We're doing
yeah.
awesome. That's great. We're 10% there now. That's incredible. So thank you guys so much.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. So yeah, let's just come together as a community and support Lindy in this. I really think that, you know, we can get there within just a few days if we all collectively spread the word, put it on socials, put it in your Instagram stories, put it on your YouTube channels, make a video about it if you care, and link one of Lindy's interview videos. And let's just give her a better future because she really deserves it. And if you can't financially support or even donate at all, that's okay. Just help us spread the word.
Absolutely. We appreciate it so much. I know, you know, people don't understand how hard it is to walk with that kind of that apron, that pouch for her. It's going to be life-changing, like it really is. She's going to be a different person almost overnight in a way, you know, once she heals up from that. I'm really excited to see it for her. And man, I can't imagine the difference it's going to make. I can't imagine with the difference it made just losing the 500 pounds, but once she gets that off, it's going to be crazy. You know,
freeing for her.
Yeah. So
I really want this to happen. It's definitely going to happen no matter what, but in my heart, I want it to happen because we're going to have so many carnivore events and meetups and things to go to. And Lindy will be able to easily fly and travel and go to them without any issues. So in my heart, it's just an excuse for me to hang out with her more. Yeah.
For sure.
Praying for God, bless and provide for Lindy's surgery. Yes.
Thank you, Susan, so much.
Susan.
That's
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Phil. Yeah, Dr. Phil needs to go to bed. So let's wrap this
Thank
up.
you, guys. All right. Well,
Good night, all.
good night, guys. We're just going to end it just like this. Good night, guys.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Bye.